and welcome to Psychology Demystified. Today's topic focuses on protecting your mental health and things that you can do to keep your own mental health in check. I love that I'm doing this video when I'm outdoors and it's raining, because for me, I find rain cathartic. So that's one of the ways that I protect my mental health. I find ways to get outdoors, and just enjoy nature and the soothing sounds of rain. It's the little things that count. It doesn't have to be big. It can be as little as chasing some rain. It's 5 o'clock. 4, 5. The bell rang 5 times in the rain. Peace and quiet. With that little deviation, let's get started on how you can protect your own mental health. Find opportunities where you just stop taking life so seriously, where you laugh until your ribs hurt, where you laugh until you double over because you can't breathe, where you laugh until there are tears pouring out of your eyes. That kind of laughter is so important for preserving and protecting your mental health. For a really good laugh, and we didn't know it was going to turn to a really good laugh, my friends and I played Pictionary. By playing Pictionary, we discovered each other's artistic skills, or lack thereof, and the laughter was unbelievable. Another way to take care of your mental health is sleep. You have to sleep enough. I know there's work, I know there's life, I know there are deadlines, but you have to make a conscious effort to sleep enough. When you don't sleep enough, it makes it hard for your brain cells to pass on the information that they're supposed to in the proper way. When you don't sleep, it's not just your body that doesn't rest, your mind doesn't rest as well. And when you're exhausted, then you can't do things to the best of your ability, and that does impact your mental health. Not sleeping enough also causes fatigue, irritability, and issues when you're coming to things that need focus. So you end up being distracted when you're supposed to be really focused at your job, at home, or even with your friends. Another way to take care of your mental health is to regret things less. There are some times we sit back and think about jobs that we could have had, opportunities we could have been in, things that we could have done better, things that we could have done differently, decisions that we could have made that would have changed our lives immensely. And we sit and wallow in regret. Sitting back and thinking about and dreaming about what could have been does tend to lead to sleep issues like insomnia. It does tend to lead to depression. And it puts you in this dark rut that you can't seem to get out of if you don't pull yourself out soon enough. So this is something that you have to keep in check. Someone once said to me, and I'm sure they got this quote from somewhere, so if you know, please add it into the comments below. They said that you cannot drive forward while looking in the rearview mirror because you'll crash. And that's something that stuck with me, and that's how I try to make sure that I live my life with no regrets. And it's a constant battle because everyone at some point thinks of something that they could have done differently, but you have to consciously try not to put yourself in that dark hole, because sometimes it's hard to claw yourself out of it. So it's something we all do, me included. Another way to avoid sabotaging your mental health is to stay away from relationships that are toxic. In toxic relationships, you put yourself second to someone else, and you stop prioritizing your needs because you're prioritizing someone else, because you're putting someone else above you, their needs, their wants, their desires, and their demands. Healthy forms of love and appreciation exist in the world. So in order for you to be able to find a way to get out of a toxic relationship, recognize the red flags, reach out for help, and take some time to process what you've been through, because sometimes it can be traumatic. But there are healthy relationships, and yes, it is possible to find them. If you're a perfectionist, which means that you seek perfectionism, there are some ways that you can keep your own mental health in check. Being a perfectionist comes with its positives, because being a perfectionist makes you someone who is truly valuable, because everything you do is to the highest standards, whether it's at work, whether it's at home, whether it's at school. And sometimes it also makes you a perfectionist when it comes to your hobbies as well. Perfectionism becomes an issue when you start to set bars that are too high to reach, or you start to set standards that set you up to fail. That's when it becomes an issue. So it definitely has its positives, but it does have its drawbacks too. Being unable to reach the high standards that you've set for yourself that are way above the bar then would lead to feelings of uncertainty, distress, depression, and for some people, feelings of failure. A lot of perfectionists are also prone to feelings of anxiety or angst because they feel like they cannot meet the standards that they have set. And also because they feel that they're being judged because they didn't meet these standards. But remember, sometimes these standards are unrealistic. Unfortunately, this results in a hard knock on someone's confidence and someone's self-esteem. So, dear perfectionists, let's work on keeping our perfectionism in check. How do you do this? Sometimes you can't do it alone. You need the help of a mental health professional. And that's totally okay, dear perfectionist. That's okay. The next way to keep your mental health in check is to avoid becoming addicted to your phone. We don't realize it because we believe that we're catching up on life by sticking with social media. But sometimes social media and our addiction to it and our need for it and our craving for it does lead to moments where our self-esteem and our confidence is impacted. Because social media just works on capturing the highlights of people's lives, not the failures. When this happens, your doubts and your insecurities are intensified because you start to compare your achievements with those of someone on social media. You start to compare your likes with those of someone on social media. You start to compare your followers with those of someone else on social media. A lot of us live life on our phones and we can't put them away. The only way to stop ourselves from getting sucked into the social media hole is to set up chunks of time where our phone is far away from us and even off sometimes. That way, you find a way to shut down when you need to, regroup before you jump into the social media world again. In general, you may find that scrolling through social media does actually end up worsening your mood rather than picking you up, which is the reason why you picked up your phone or your laptop in the first place. The rain is coming down now in amazing, unbelievable ways, beautiful ways, as I talk about the next one, which is ask for help. There's a journey for all of us to take, and that journey can either be individual or it can be shared. But life is so much better and sometimes so much easier when we share. So allow yourself to be vulnerable. It's not easy for all of us, but there is some joy to be gotten from sharing the love, sharing the joy, sharing the pain, and sharing your challenges. And the last one, which is as important as all the others, is practice gratitude. Be thankful for all the things happening around you that have their positives. For me right now, my thing was to practice gratitude regarding the rain. Yes, it's going to impact the sound in my video, but I'm grateful that there's rain, and I'm grateful that I get to see it and hear it and smell all the things around me. Those are things I take for granted. So I'm going to practice gratitude right now for the rain. Another way to practice gratitude is to write down things that you are grateful for, things that have happened that are positive. Celebrate your wins. And your wins could be talking to a colleague who you've never spoken to before. Another win could be hanging out with people you've never hung out with before. Another win could be as simple as making someone smile today, giving someone way in traffic. All those little things are us practicing gratitude for the positives in our lives. And the more we get to do that, the more we get to squish and squash anything that we have in our minds that would self-sabotage. Because what we tend to remember sometimes are not the positives, it's the negatives that take hold and become this big, huge thing in our lives. And they drown out all the good things that are happening for us. So take stock, write it down, be thankful for it, and appreciate everything around you. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking with me through the rain. And please remember to be kind, because you really don't know what someone is going through. Kindness costs you nothing. Hugs and kindness always. Bye.